A real Warbirds. Now these two teams will be back later on this afternoon, folks, to put on a wonderful display as a single ship. The United States Air Force, that's great to have them here in their Block 40 F-16 Fighting Falcons, also known as the Viper.
You're really gonna bust the tail.
Here they come again, folks.
Rise left.
One last little statistic for you. One of its records was in 2000. Guns on this one, and they're firing them again today, but it's one of the 202 Harvards ordered by the Royal New Zealand Air Force as an advanced pilot trainer, and it arrived in New Zealand in June 1943, operated by the No. 2 Fighter Operational Training Unit, or FOTU, at Ohio during World War II. It is our newest Harvard, and it's without a doubt, I would say, and I put my life on it, the $10 that I do own, it is the most beautiful Harvard on the planet. I'll probably get a bit of stick to that.
Just back to the ensign. As I said, primarily a trainer, but in the war service it was used for reconnaissance work, a fleeting air arm in the UK, and coastal command, and
coming in behind us here, folks, down to the right-hand side, behind Simon and HBL, we have the big Iroquois, UH-1A, with the fly bucket. Firefighting, as you see coming in from the right, the distinctive thump of the Iroquois. You don't really see the old monsoon buckets much anymore now. These are all collapsible buckets. Anyone's feeling a bit hot, let Mark know and he'll just swoop over and give you a bit of a dust off. This is the bit, and I'll go to see if we can see up those there we go. That's actually not water, folks. That's actually gin from the local distillery just down the road off the side of Lake Dunstan. The Iroquois, of course, we had quite a few of these at 3 Squadron Base.
So we know that the season runs for most of the summer. Roughly how many engagements would the Black Falcons take during that time?
We have had quite a busy season this year. Their formation, aerobatics. And as they come through now, they'll pitch up. Beautiful shot there. It's in their barrel roll. As they descend out of the barrel roll, they will transition away and transition into the formation known as Luna, a tribute to the space or the moon landing module.
been a real transition for our Air Force to move away from the venerable old CT-4E air trainers into this, the Beechcraft T6 Texan 2, our trainer. People described it to me as, you know, stepping out of your classic car and into a sports car to be the very first aeroplane you ever fly, and it's...
Get your cameras ready for this one. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
Straight towards the gold stand. Now that the formation is split, the synchro pair will take centre stage. Falcons 4 and 5 commence it down. Come, ladies and gents, take a good look at their cross tracks. A bit like a tennis match, looking left and right. As they pass, Falcon 4 will have called an initiate for a G-turn for both aircraft. 2 holding position underneath, whilst Falcon 3 barrel rolls around this smoke.
It's nice.
I think there's a very famous movie where someone was keeping up foreign relations with this manoeuvre, but I think our one looks better.
The more modern.
That's quite quick off the mark, isn't it, to really deploying overseas already. Okay, so we're eyes out to the right, and we'll have the back Falcons come to land, and you can hopefully see just above the windsock at the far right, and then the lights of the P8. Now, because we are still in the process of introducing this aircraft to service, so they're doing that at 4,000 feet. There they go.
How fast is that travelling, Kate?
About 200 kilometres per hour at that point, sir. Thank you for the question. Okay, so they've all tracked away from each other. That's because you don't want to deploy your chute when you're in close proximity to another jumper. It's actually quite a vigorous movement on your body when your drone chute takes out the full canopy. But it's good to see 8 full canopies out there. That's what we want. 6 of them are continuing with that smoke, and they are going to join up in what we call the stack for the display. And then the other 2 will be flying a flag and an ensign at the rear. Now, we change the systems that we use quite regularly. You can see that there are 2 light blue and 4 navy blue canopies there. And that's to do with the size of the canopy. It really depends on the weight of the jumper and their expertise as to what size canopy they use. Today the team are jumping a Javelin harness system and a Sabre 2 main canopy. So you can see the guy at the bottom is leading that stack. He's going to complete a couple of turns to enable everyone to come in there on top of him. They're going to want to keep their smoke canisters away from the canopy beneath them because they're jolly hot and they don't want to be burning a hole in it. And up above them you can see the RNZF ensign and the New Zealand flag being proudly flown there. Yes! Have you ever done this one, sir?
I have jumped out of the back once. I prefer normally to sit in the front seat with the controls in front of me.
As long as we can choose to jump and we're not pushed, then...
Exactly.
Okay, so the guys are going to complete some turns now. They are positioning themselves to come in and land out the front. During that time, the lead in the stack will be assessing the wind. They'll be looking for any obstacles out on the ground. Thankfully, we have a nice big airfield in front of us, so not too many obstacles for their landing. But they do need to land that parachute into wind. And the reason for that is that these are ram air parachutes. They're 2 layers of very silky fabric that are not porous. They don't allow the air to go through them. And so the air between those 2 layers makes that canopy act like an aircraft's wing. And that means that you can fly it and steer it just like an aircraft would.
And when these jumpers aren't displaying in front of us, their primary purpose is to teach the special forces who have a parachute insertion capability by day or by night, so they're extremely busy supporting our New Zealand Army.
Okay, coming in for the final landing pattern now, we have leading the display is Sergeant Joss Stone, and following him in the stack, Sergeant Blair Patterson, Dougie King, Thorne Davids, Ness King, and Janelle Webb. Please give them a massive round of applause as they come in to land right in front of you. Oh, nicely done, team. Boys and and girls, if you want to meet Kiwi Blue, they said they're happy once they've collected their canopies in to come and stand along the fence line. They'd love to meet you and tell you all about their experiences. We've still got the two, the flag and the ensign coming down. One thing you might rafts that can be fitted.
Yeah, which they don't throw at the enemy.
Much like the P3, the P8 has a really primary purpose of search and rescue.
I'm guessing.
And we spoke about that yesterday, that New Zealand finds itself in a vast expanse of ocean, 30 million square kilometre search and rescue region that stretches from the equator all the way to the pole.
Yeah, that's a pretty enormous responsibility that's been carried by the P3s for all those years, and so we picked ourselves a good aircraft to replace that. And I have to say she looks very pretty in Air Force colours.
Absolutely. Whereabouts did that come from?
So the jets are actually from one of our bases, here.
NH-90 from number 3 squadron and the SH-2GC Sprite from number 6 squadron. On the right-hand side is Blue Lead, Squadron Leader Mary Robertson. Mary's a very experienced fixed-wing and rotary flying instructor. She's currently posted to the light utility helicopter flight at number 3 Squadron. But she's no stranger to flying displays, and she herself conducted a season of the RNZAF Black Falcons. Cameras at the ready, there'll be once they're nose to nose, there'll be a bunt and a wing over to cross, which is a really nice looking manoeuvre, especially if you can capture that spot right at the bottom when they cross over. So both helicopters into a wing over manoeuvre next. Mayor's co-pilot on board today is Flight Attendant Vicky's Sandra, also known as Pepper, you might want to ask where he got that nickname from. And in the back they've got 2 helicopter loadmasters, Sergeant Britt Perkins. They're going to complete a turn so that you'll get an amazing view of these aircraft, and I'm just going to go nice and quiet. Ladies and gents, this is one of the things that exemplifies a New Zealand airshow, where you've got such a variety, 10% of what this aircraft actually does. And it only makes the media because we're not an airline, so we don't have hubs with engineering everywhere. We have to take the parts with us. Right, running in towards us, thunder formation, ladies and gents, about to break for your cameras. please tell me which Greek god the P-8 Maritime Patrol aircraft is named after? If you know the answer to that question, pop down to the right-hand end. Okay, eyes to your left. No time to talk. Here comes C-130-02 with its load drop. Captain of the aircraft today is Max Longdill, and on board with him we have Ben Pickering, Carter Bland, Darren Matheson, and the two load masters at the back who are responsible for this element of the display, Emma Porritt and Joe Shave. So you can see the aircraft throttled back, we've got the flaps out, we've got the ramp and door open. This is going to showcase one of the most well-known and most popular of the Herc's capabilities, which is load drop. Far too often, unfortunately, around the world at the moment, we find ourselves completing humanitarian and disaster relief or HADAR missions. This load is an example load. It's about 300 pounds, about 1 metre cubed, and it's effectively a space case that they popped out today. Now, I think you'd have to say that was pretty close to bullseye, so everyone out there in our sweepstake.
And engine cowls, of course, but just a work of art, a tribute to Walt Denham and his team with Abspecs and all. This is the 4th mosquito they put together. There are only 5 of them in the world, and these guys resurrected and brought back the 4 of the 5. So this is something special. The only time we're going to see it because it's going to be taken to America, not the home. Jurgis.
Hard to imagine, isn't it? He's got a pilot's license. Jurgis carries, ladies and gentlemen.
Meantime, ZZ2308 flown today by US Warbird legend Steve Hinton. Steve Hinton, the Reno racing champion, magnificent display pilot, as you can tell. The mosquito hooks into a sharp left turn. Not surprisingly called the Wooden Wonder. Fantastic.
These aircraft, like the F-16 we were talking about earlier, they did everything so well. There's nothing an aircraft like this couldn't do. Made of wood, light, strong, easy to produce back in the day, and that was the secret. I think they went with wood.
Today, of course, we're remembering in New Zealand.
Heritage Flights P-51 represent all of those aircraft that served at home in the Islands of Earth.
Back in 90s, sorry, Kate.
Apologies, and then from your right low is the Spitfire. So Stu will commence his display with a canopy pass right to left.
This is a combat veteran champion and served with RAF 111 Squadron in the Mediterranean. Post-war, subsequent air forces with Italy, Israel, and finally Burma, where it made its last flight in 1956. It was a Guardian, and then Megalodon Air Force Museum, where it was selected and brought back to life by Brendan Deere. As a sidebar, my father flew from the very same airport, flying a Mark 19 PRU Spitfire, same Air Force, Megalodon Air Force, in Burma, 1945.
How about that?
Nice, so Stu's now setting up for a belly pass this time, so you'll be able to see the underside of that aircraft and that iconic wing shape. Pitching up now into a half Cuban and a reposition for a further belly pass.
Stu Anderson, who was having the time of his life. Behind him on the B-51, Sean Blair, who was the previous first display pilot of this newly resurrected Spitfire, also having the time of his life. Both these aircraft have incredible pedigree. More about that in just a moment.
Both aircraft are passing up to you.
51Ds, NZ 243, flying number 2, arrived in a box at the end of World War II. There were 30 of them here. The war finished and the aircraft stayed in this box. So it was born here, it stayed here, and it has been resurrected here by none other than Brendan Deere and his team.
So the Spitfire is split away. He's going to be going from his solo display. Sean will still take the Mustang right to left and then left to right again for us.
From the left, then the Providence is something we love, because this is the real thing.
With the Goodyear company, this one being a FD1G, of course, whatever their duty, whatever their uniform. Diamond roll, ladies and gentlemen. Wilbur, boards, sticky, and howler. We'll come back to the diamond.
Well said, Kate. And as you'll see, turning down with the C-17, it made its first flight in September of 1991. But since then, the aircraft has set over 30 world records, including payload to altitude, time to climb, and the longest airdrop mission in history.
That is pretty impressive. And when you see large aircraft like this flying slowly, then you get some idea of all the incredible design work that goes into them.
That's right, and the new age design within the C-17 includes a modern computerized glass cockpit, heads-up displays at both pilot stations, and an advanced cargo handling system, allowing it to operate with a crew half the size of similar cargo-carrying aircraft, so quite capable. So now approaching from your left, the aircraft will perform a slow speed pass. During this pass, please notice the wing leading edge slats and large powered lift wing flaps. These devices literally change the shape of the wing and are key to its low final approach speed, enabling this mighty aircraft to land and stop in very short distances. This is a great opportunity to take photos of this amazing state-of-the-art machine.
It really is impressive that large aircraft flying so slowly through like that.
It's powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney F-117 engines, and each engine delivers over 18,000 kilograms force of thrust. This amount of thrust allows the Globemaster 3 to carry over 77,000 kilograms of cargo for an astounding range of up to
Just above the green tree line on your right, between those two speakers. They're in there, I saw them.
Demonstrating its exceptional rolling maneuverability. In a dogfight, the ability to turn tightly is crucial. Watch now as Captain Spencer shows you just how exceptional the S-16 is in a 9 Smith approaches show center. He will